My biological age is 2.5 years younger than my chronological age, according to functionhealth.com. And in this video, I'm going to go through my results with you, work on some thyroid opportunities in there, and kind of show you some of the things that I've been doing to keep myself healthier and younger. And hopefully the next time I do this, it'll be even more than that. So this is part two. We have over 100 markers that are coming back from Function Health. It's a fantastic opportunity that Dr. Mark Hyman has made available for people. And it does take a little bit of commitment. You have to do 2 different blood draws, and there is a little bit of financial investment. But overall, what I've learned is it's the best investment I've made because it's going to save me so much money in the long run, because it helps me to really be hyper specific about the nutrition protocols that I'm going to be putting myself on. Because the more you read and the more things you learn about nutrition, the more you want to take everything. But as we can start to get everything from our food and then do some labs, then I know how to be very specific in the foods that I'm going to be integrating and the nutritional supplements. I'm going to share 3 with you that I have learned that I'm going to integrate for the next 6 months to make corrections on what I've learned. So let's take a look at these labs. To the labs. All right, so here's the good news, right? After what they've figured out so far, after 83 markers have come in, my biological age is 46.3, which is 2.5 years younger than my calendar age. So that's encouraging. That means, okay, I got some good things happening here. Now, let's take a look at some of these labs that have come in so far. Autoimmunity, all good there. So we're just going to keep moving on. But it's interesting for you to know that you'll get these labs as well if you go with Function Health to be able to get these labs done. Biological age good, electrolytes all good. All of these blood markers here, we're going to take a look at these. These are all looking great. So red blood cells, my iron levels are looking good. Sorry about all the scrolling up and down, but that's what we have to do. Now, here's one that's a little interesting, and that's the heart. Now, I've got a lot more I hope to come from the heart, but it's important to note that this is a marker that I'm always asking people to look at for their heart health, and this is C-reactive protein, so high sensitivity C-reactive protein. And you can see here that my range is, I'm out of range. You want to be under 1, and I'm at 1.6. So there's a lot of reasons that this could be going up. I could have just not getting enough whole food vitamin C. I could still be fighting off some type of a subclinical infection. I mean, there's so many viruses going around, so many bacteria. Just because I don't feel it and I'm not having a symptomatic expression, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not fighting it. And I think this might be the result of that, or I just need to be supporting my body's ability to get that inflammatory marker down in other ways. And I'm going to probably be taking a lot more whole food vitamin C for that. But I do also think I need to figure out what is driving that. And that's one thing that I'm going to wait till I get all the results to say exactly what that is. So that drives me to immune regulation, which is also showing that high sensitivity C-reactive protein under this category, which again gives me that inkling that I need to focus more on my immune health. Now, you'll see that the basophils, eosinophils, all of these different white blood cells they're not green, they're in a dark color, not red. But they're all consistent, which is actually really good news because the total numbers are all in green, the percentages are high, and that could also be reflective of the fact that I am working through or managing some type of attempted invasion in my body, and now that's just the result of that. We looked at the kidneys yesterday, we looked at the male health yesterday. We haven't looked at the metabolic. I'm going to save that for last because I'm going to jump down to this thyroid piece, which is super interesting and exciting. At least I think it is, because I am just completed my 8-hour continued education course on thyroid that we're going to be teaching in seminars around the country. And this is a perfect example of what we've been talking about for years in functional health on this. This thyroid stimulating hormone is very high. In fact, if we go in and look at the range, you don't want it above 4.5 according to the range, and mine is a whopping 13.56. So somebody might say, Dustin, hurry up and get you some levothyroxine or some medication. That would usually be the standard of what somebody would suggest with this. However, here's the beautiful thing about this lab. That medication is a synthetic version of something called T4 down here. And look at that. My T4 is perfectly in the middle of the range. So my question would be, does it make sense for me to add more T4 into this equation if my T4 is showing up perfect? And the other question is, okay, well, T4 is the inactive form. It converts into T3. Maybe I'm having an issue converting that into the active form. Well, I got T3 right here, and look at that, also dead center of the range. So the issue doesn't seem to be that I don't have enough T4 or enough T3. There's something else going on. I don't have any antibodies, so it's not something that's autoimmune. So we have to think more critically about what is causing this thyroid stimulating hormone to be elevated. Now, there's a couple of things that this could be leading to. Number one, in functional circles, the nutritional component that would be number one, probably number two and three, that you have to address for this is selenium. And selenium is one of those things that we get from fish, a lot of good wild caught fish. People will say Brazil nuts, but I have to caveat that. I used to tell people getting Brazil nuts is going to give you some selenium, but we can't guarantee that unless we know that those Brazil nuts are grown organically. If we don't have the microbes in the soil that need to be there to help convert the inorganic form of selenium into the organic form in the nuts, let's say they've been sprayed with pesticides or herbicides or fungicides, we have inhibited the ability of that Brazil nut to truly get the payload of selenium that we are hoping to get. Secondarily, if you're going to try to use that as your whole food source, you want to make sure it's sprouted so that it is getting rid of the phytic acid that's binding to and inhibiting the maximum payload of selenium as well. And third, one of the most important things I have learned from my veterinarian friends is that there is not selenium abundantly available in the soil everywhere equally. There are certain parts of the world, in the country specifically, that are low in selenium. So we have to be greater detectives at using that as our source of selenium, because we can't guarantee just because it's a Brazil nut, it does have it. So at the end of this, I'll share with you the supplement that I'm going to be using to help bring more balance and bring some selenium back into my life. And then I'll be rechecking this. The other option could be here, and this is talked about in Dr. Brownstein's book, Iodine, Why You Need It. And he talks about how when you do ingest a lot of iodine, thyroid stimulating hormone can go up because the part of the mechanism of that is to help with the transport of iodine. And shame on me, I did not follow the rules that I was told. You're not supposed to eat fish 3 days before. And my mom made me some fish, and I'm not going to tell my mom I'm not going to eat her food on a Sunday night when I was there. So I did eat fish. And so this could be partially driven up by the ingestion of a good amount of iodine in the days before. But such fantastic information here. And I really hope that this makes sense to you. And if you have any questions about this or anything that I may have said that doesn't seem right to you, please respond. Give me some reactions. Tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong here. And, or if you have questions about, what you should do, I'll give you my take on what I would do. And that leads me to this final piece here. Now, there's a lot of reasons why my lifestyle may have contributed to this. A lot of adrenal stress may have led to this. For the last 3 years, I've just been going on the road like crazy, teaching across the country and not giving myself the self-care that I should, which can contribute to this issue with glucose. So this is a fasting glucose, and it is way higher than it should be. This hemoglobin A1C is higher than I would like to see it, even though it's in range. And the insulin, even though it says in range, I would like to see that even lower as well. So that leads me to a couple of things that I'm going to incorporate for the next few months to help with potential, a little bit of insulin resistance that I may have been experiencing. And to tell you the truth, looking through Chinese medicine analysis of the tongue, I do have some suggestions that I'm getting a little bit of insulin resistance, which is pretty crazy, actually, as healthy as I try to be. And so there's other things that this is guiding me towards to really be super targeted on my supplementation. So what am I going to take now? Now, there's a lot of things I take a lot, but I'm actually going to be taking less of those that I was thinking I was needing because my blood's showing everything's pretty good. I may be getting there with my diet, but I'm definitely going to be focusing on, number one, selenium intake. And just so that I know that I'm getting a consistent daily application so my body gets all the selenium it needs for not just the thyroid, but everything else. We have this master antioxidant in the body called glutathione. and glutathione is dependent on selenium to be made. So I actually am going to just take these tiny little prepared meals that are whole food versions of a vitamin E supplement that gives you like some pea juice and just a bunch of other little whole food ingredients in here. And it's called Cataplex E. And I'll leave a link below that you can check this out a little bit more. This delivers 11 micrograms of selenium in a whole food form, very important, in 2 of these. So for the next few months, I'm going to be taking 2 of these 3 times a day, just randomly throughout the day with meals or whenever, just to make sure that my body has a little bit of extra selenium available to it in a whole food form and can do what it needs to do with it. Now, I also have the great privilege of working with a lot of other very, very brilliant healthcare professionals who work in nutrition and herbal medicine. And I was reviewing a little bit this with one of my colleagues this morning, and he had some great suggestions. He said, look, yes, looking like a little bit of insulin resistance in there, probably due to a lot of different lifestyle things. But here's his 2 suggestions, and I'm going to use those and incorporate them. And it's a combination of herbs. And it's a whole combination of Japanese knotweed and milk thistle seed, Korean ginseng, grape seed, and ginkgo leaf. Now, I should probably get deeper into the research on how all of these work synergistically, but I'm also trusting his clinical experience. He's had decades of clinical experience using these herbs, and he finds that this is really helpful with that. And it's a product called Herba Vital. Herba Vital is a MediHerb product. This is a company out of Australia, and they have very good standards for the quality. So I really trust their herbs. And I know hundreds of practitioners who have used their herbal line with great results for a very long time. So I have a lot of confidence in it. The gentleman who is one of the most brilliant herbalists on the planet, Kerry Bone, I remember listening to him lecture, oh man, probably 15, 20 years ago when this was first made. And he said that this is part of his breakfast every day. So he was very convinced of the value. And I guess it's time that I add that in. So I'm going to be doing about 3 of these a day. And the other was actually silymarum or milk thistle. And so there's a milk thistle forte, which is a 10-to-1 extract, which means that I get a real potent delivery of it when I take just 1 of these. But for a short period of time, I'm going to do about 3 of those. Even though all my liver markers looked great, and people usually think of these as liver support herbs, I am going to trust on the experience of my colleagues and the suggestions that they've seen over time. And I'm going to find out. Now, this isn't all I'm going to do. I'm going to definitely be examining my mineral balances, because it definitely could be magnesium and chromium. Now, I do take a magnesium supplement quite regularly and eat lots of foods I know have that, but I've been finding clinically a lot of people seem to be responding to chromium, not chromium picolinate, but chromium in a trivalent form, so a whole food form with vitamin Bs. So I'm going to do a different analysis and determine whether or not I do need to increase my chromium. It wouldn't hurt me to do that anyway, but I probably will. I hope this is as exciting for you as it is for me once you get yours, because it can give you so much information about getting so specific about what your body actually needs. I can't encourage you enough to try to find a way to make this a part of your life at least once, to get it dialed in and see what the next direction, when we're talking about the next right thing to do, I think this is one of them. So thanks for watching. Please do give me some feedback, some comments, some ideas as to maybe something else that you found is brilliant. Now, there's a whole list of things that I could be taking or supplements that come to this, but I am going to keep these in consideration. I'm going to have other people look at my protocols, because one of the best things that you should learn, even though you're trying to be your own doctor all the time, you want other people to look at your blind spots for you and give you other information. And that's the beautiful thing about having a community of healthcare practitioners. I've got some more labs to come in, so there's going to be a part 3 to this that gets it all wrapped up together. So hang in there. It'll be coming as soon as I get these labs. They were super fast coming in. I couldn't be happier with this. So I look forward to wrapping it up in the final video for you all, and hopefully having some comments and questions to respond to for you. Have a great day.